something that captures that cocktail lounge vibe. Heyo! I am Dr. T, and welcome to my multiverse of beer and music. Tonight we're going for a little loungy vibe because the beer calls for it, and the song ties into that. Beer we're drinking tonight is from, in my opinion, the best brewery in the state of Indiana. And we're talking about Indianapolis's Sun King. Tonight we're drinking a special release from them called the Old Fashioned Extraction. This weighs in at 12.4% and 23 IBUs. And their description of it is a bourbon barrel-aged quadruple, aged with orange peel and cherry to reflect the best elements of an old-fashioned cocktail. Pretty sophisticated for a beer, I'd say. So I wanted to bring in a song that can match that vibe. Let's take a look at the beer first. Dr. T screwed up some settings, so you missed the pour, unfortunately. But it is a dark, actually ruby. There you can see some highlights. It is a super dark beer, but it is clear, full of ruby highlights. It's a dark, super dark amber color. It is a Belgian Quad, which means it should have some Belgian characteristics. There's some spiciness, not like hot spicy, but more like baking spices. It should have a really strong malt backbone. It didn't have much of a head on a pour, which I'm not surprised at all. It is a barrel-aged beer, and barrel-aged beers tend to have little head persistency, little head retention. But the aromas are amazing. It is dark, complex, fruity, in addition to some bright orange and cherry notes floating on top. I'm getting fig, maybe some raisin, toffee, caramel, a little bit of like a sherry note. You do smell a little bit of the bourbon barrel on the nose. It smells very sweet and complex. And the flavors match. Boy, it's very complex. It's very not chewy, but put it this way, the 23 IBUs are swamped by the fruit and malt character of the beer. You don't really get much bitterness. It definitely leans to the sweet side, getting all the caramel, toffee, bourbon, maybe even some like golden raisin flavor in there, along with the orange and cherry. Really is very reminiscent of an old fashioned. Excellent beer, just an excellent beer. And I'm well founded, I think, in my declaration of Sun King being the best brewery in Indiana. Since opening, Sun King has won more GABF and World Beer Cup medals combined than any other Indiana brewery. So I think that solidifies my claim as their best brewery in Indiana. But even beyond that, when you look at the entire world, all the breweries who have ever won GABF and World Beer Cup medals, Sun King is in the top 5 of all those breweries. Additionally, at the U.S. Open Beer Championships, they were named Grand Champion Brewery, best brewery of the competition in 2019 and 2022. So they're doing something right. So it's a very sophisticated beer. And I wanted to bring in a sophisticated song to go with it. Something that captures that cocktail lounge vibe. So I'm going with an artist that I really enjoy and really like personally. I've met him a few times. He's a Brit, but lives in Philadelphia, and I've seen more than a few of his shows, and he's great. Some of you older folk, MTV generation of the, MTV that actually played music generation, may recall some of his more poppy hits under the name of John Wesley Harding. Links below. But we are going to be looking at something more recent from the Hastings, East Sussex native son, Wesley Stace. He moves so easily from style to style, from folk to pop to, I've even seen a performance where he was part of a 4-piece a cappella group called the Love Hall Tryst that was doing essentially Victorian chamber music. So very versatile, very well educated, as you'll see in the video, and fairly recently put out an album called Late Style that really explored that loungy vibe. I think is perfectly reflected in this beer. So tonight we're going to check out the live version of his song, Where the Bands Are. Let's check it out.
Where the bands are, baby. Oh, what a beautiful vibe. Backstage where the bands are, baby, where it's emerald green and it's fit for a queen, and the glamour cannot be described. You wanna be where the bands are, baby. The cool table set just for you. Right back where the bands are, baby. There are no plastic forks, just the popping of corks, and the catering's all cordon bleu. And it's somebody's birthday, or seems like it is, because everything's free and there's plenty of fizz. You wanna be where the bands are, baby. You'll be the cat with the cream. Right back where the bands are, baby. Not in line on the street for a sad meet and greet with a drummer who spent his per diem. And it's like an apartment, much nicer than yours. And the bathroom graffiti's by George Bernard Shaw. Stands a man, the stage door kingpin, who courteously grants you admission within. You wanna be where the bands are, baby, in that moment where you'll come of age. Right back where the bands are, baby, but when you finally get through, there's nobody but you, 'cause baby, the bands on stage. Here we are. Thank you very much.
So, what did you think of that? He's a talented guy. As I mentioned, I've talked with him a few times. I've seen him at very small venues around Philadelphia a number of times, doing a number of different styles, and I've always enjoyed his music. He's interesting. He's born in 65 in Hastings. As a child, he taught himself guitar and even wrote his own songs as a teenager before going to university. He got a degree in English literature and started working on a PhD, but left before completing his doctorate in social and political science to pursue a music career. As you saw in the video, he's had some success musically. Links below. My first experience with his music was on MTV, to be honest, when the Here Comes the Groom album came out in the very early 90s, and the song The Devil in Me. Link below. Check it out. Maybe you'll remember it. He's witty, he's musically clever and intellectually clever, and I enjoy that. But I really dug the vibe of the Late Style album. Very laid back, loungy, swingy, just a really interesting vibe. I thought paired very, very well with a beer that's going after the old-fashioned cocktail. Good stuff. So, if you like what I'm doing here, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure to hit the notification bell because I've got new content coming out all the time, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of it. But most importantly, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you have questions or have opinions on the music or the beer or my suave purple shirt. Because life is short, my friends. And you should take time to enjoy things. I am going to take time to enjoy the rest of this delightful beer. You take time to find enjoyment in your life. Until next time, keep drinking.